Welcome back. President of BUA Group, Abdulsamad Rabiu, has projected that the Naira will appreciate to between 1,300 Naira and 1,400 Naira per dollar by the end of the year. He made this prediction while speaking to journalists after a meeting with President Bola Tinubu at the presidential villa in Abuja on Wednesday, where he also praised the president's bold and decisive economic reforms, reiterating how the policy changes are already yielding positive results for businesses and the currency. I still have Justice General right here with me. Of course, Dr. Adini is still standing by. Now, Justice, quickly, stability in the FX market has allowed businesses to thrive with a direction now. Now, while this is a forecast of what might possibly happen in the shortest possible time, what key factors would you say need to change between now and December to achieve this level of Naira appreciation?
Okay, I feel that one of the key factors actually took place, whether I think less than 24 hours ago, 48 hours ago, which is I think Dangote now picking up fuel in Naira rather than in dollar, or remitting in something significant.
In that region, yeah.
Yeah, something significant that encourage the use of the Naira, and that's a huge one. And I encourage that should be stabilized. We shouldn't have a situation where they are breaking again and reneging on that particular policy. And of course, beyond, I know that industries are not built overnight, but steps can be taken in the right direction to give confidence in the economy for industries to actually, FDIs to now start coming in, at least to come and break ground. Once they break ground, it means that, of course, they want to ship in machinery and equipment and things like that. It means that they will have to require Naira, they have to at least employ some Nigerians and things like that. So generally, there has to be confidence in the system. The president or any other person, of course, I'm fantastically encouraged by the works of our Minister for Trade, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, doing a yeoman's job. So I feel that once they of course, dig their heels in and keep ticking these boxes, keep dotting the I's, keep crossing the T's, I feel that just like Mr. Abdulsamad has predicted, we should still be able to hit that. We were at 1,700, 1,800 just a short while ago, and now it's receded to 1,480, and I don't think it's a long shot to say we can make 1,300, 1,400. Nigerians too should be optimistic. We should also support the president or any other player in this regard.
I see a ray of hope while you're talking about it compared to the times we were here when we had.
See, I'm not a caustic critic. I'm not a caustic critic.
No, but it's a good thing.
Yes,
we should be hopeful that things get better.
I am hopeful. If it works, it benefits me.
Fantastic.
If it works, it benefits me. So I won't be caustic and I won't go after the president at all times for all purposes.
When I said a ray of hope, you should have just said we thank God for everything.
We thank God for everything. Does that make you happy?
Dr. Ojikutu, quickly now, why some business leaders are praising the reforms, many Nigerians are still struggling with high inflation and job losses. Now, is there a disconnect somewhere, or should there be some level of patience in the system for things to finally, come around?
Yeah, as at July 2024, the inflationary trend was 33.4%, and by July 2025, it came down to 21.8%. To this end, we can see that there is a, gradual reduction year on year. That is to say that as at this, second quarter, that's Q2, as at second quarter 2024 compared to second quarter 2025, year on year, that's the comparison of those 2 years, you see that there is a drastic, reduction in inflation, which is the most important part. Because if inflation is kept to size or is reducing, definitely that means the value of the currency would be higher. Because if there is lesser inflation, the value of whatever amount you have, if you have 10,000 naira, it will be enough to feed your family and buy things because the value is high. However, if the currency, the inflation is high, you would just see that a loaf of bread will go from, 1,000 or 800, it will go to 3,000, 4,000. So that means the money will not even be able to feed just an individual, not to talk of a family. So therefore, what we should do is we should continue to keep the inflation down. The food index,
right,
food price index should also go down, which is the most paramount thing that people spend money on. At this end, if those two things are curtailed, the other things that leads to inflation can be managed at the macro level. But what affects every individual are those basics. Food, prices. That is what people must do every day, is to eat. So if you keep those prices down, then I tell you, other parameters can go. Fine, the government, they have a good scorecard when it comes to managing the economy, managing the debts, foreign debt ratio and local debt ratio and what have you, and increasing the IGR.
Okay.
However, the impact should be felt by the people, which is those other factors that will bring the cost of food to go down. We should produce more, support the farmers, and work with all these multilateral or bilateral agreement that has been signed.
All right.
Let's make sure that we implement them well, working with Brazil and other countries that has promised to work with us.
All right.
I think we'll get it right.
All right, Dr. Justice, quickly, before we go to the last topic, if the Naira does strengthen, right, as predicted, who stands to benefit most? The government, businesses, or ordinary Nigerians? I like the fact that you take the stand of the people anyway, so don't get it twisted whenever I hit on you like that. So let's get on with it. Who benefits the most? The businesses, the government, or the ordinary Nigerians?
I think that the businesses will benefit the most.
Okay.
And of course, Nigerians will benefit much more than the businesses.
Okay.
But again, the businesses too will significantly benefit.
Right.
But the only part of businesses that may not benefit that much is the exports part of business, because it is, you make more money if you are exporting, if the currency is weak. And that's part of the reasons why the Chinese, they will never ever, you will never ever get the actual strength of their currency. They will always weaken it in order to be able to gain an edge over the universal currency, the US dollar. So it's just that part of business. But generally, once the currency is strengthened, businesses will be able, it means that the US dollar is very, very much available, so they can always get at a good price without having to lobby or blackmail or do any other wrong shenanigans and things like that.